Good evening, everyone. My name is Arlo Weld, and I'm going to be speaking today on why minimum wage should not be increased. As a young adult, this topic affects us all, and I believe it is very important to speak freely and openly to spark argumentative conversation on what is the best solution for our future. Firstly, I would like to state some arguments from the opposing side to further explain how they might sound positive, but are actually quite contradicting once you understand the economical jargon. The most overused argument for installing higher wage is that we will be making more money, but that is simply not true. While we would be making more money per hour, the Congressional Budget Office was able to project that even an increase of $10 would result in a loss of 500,000 jobs. This was indicated through the online article, Should the Federal Wage Be Increased?, authored by BritannicaProcon.org and published in 2019. Secondly, the reason for an increase in minimum wage is to combat inflation, but unfortunately that is also not a sound solution. Through the same online article published by Britannica, George Reisman, who has a PhD and is an economics professor for Pepperdine University, stipulated that the higher wages are, the higher costs are. The higher costs of production are, the higher prices are. The higher prices are, the smaller quantities in goods and services demanded, and the number of workers employed in producing them. So now that we have some background knowledge on why raising minimum wage is not the answer, let us look into the two main groups that would be affected by this change. Everyone remembers their first job. Look back to when you were 16 or 17, trying to get hired somewhere to start making extra money to go away to college, or maybe taking on some extra responsibilities. Now try to understand how discouraging and worrying it would be to find out you are not getting any calls back because your lack of experience is not worth losing those $15 an hour to employers. This is what economists are afraid of. Thanks to the web article, 5 Reasons Raising the Minimum Wage is Bad Public Policy, published in 2019 and authored by John Phelan, through a questionnaire, it was found that 80% of economists believe that employers will hire level entry workers with greater skill sets. Along with that disheartening statistic, anyone below the poverty would also be greatly affected. So let's talk about that. Going back to what George Reisman said previously, higher wage means less hours, or for some, lack of any employment at all. This is a very serious issue that could arise for anyone taking care of family members, such as children, siblings, or even their parents in some cases. Also, even if they had kept their job and made good hours, according to the article I mentioned earlier, 5 Reasons Raising the Minimum Wage is Bad Public Policy, the limited empirical evidence consistently indicates that increasing the minimum wage led to increases in prices of goods and services, which, as you can see, does not help the problem at hand. The solution lies in changing the wage to prices ratio. So let us dive deeper into some better alternatives to combating poverty and the issue at hand. One solution that might help with inflation is increasing the wage brackets within the Earned Income Tax Credit System, otherwise known as the EITC. The EITC is a government-employed subsidy that helps give back more taxes to low-income families at the end of each year, determining how much financial aid one household needs based on the number of children compared to the level of income. However, this is not a perfect system if individuals do not have time to research how the program works or fight the government if the process is denied. Although, an even better alternative from expanding the EITC is individual wage subsidies. Basically, a wage subsidy would add dollars per hour to the worker's current wage. This would be implemented if the individual has evidence of low-income housing or other family members that they must support financially. For example, I'm going to reference a quote from the online article, A Better Wage Hike, made public on August 19th, 2015, written by Orrin Cass. A worker earning $8 per hour might, for instance, receive an additional $2 per hour in his paycheck, and he would receive that every hour worked, no matter how many hours he worked or how much he eventually earned. So for him, the policy appears like the minimum wage has been raised to $10 per hour, but for his employer and coworkers and customers, the cost is still $8 per hour. I believe this would promote joining the workforce and helping poverty-ridden households in the near future. To wrap things up, although there are many options and solutions out there, I believe wage subsidies to be the best fit. Everyone is hoping for a better future, and if Americans can come together to openly speak their minds and converse for a better life, we can make that a reality. So never stop thinking of a better tomorrow. Thank you.